Hi everybody, welcome back. If you've been here before, I'm Jimmy, this is Neighborhood Bees, keeping bees in a regular suburban neighborhood. All right, I'm gonna read the fortune and then tell you guys what's going on here today. It says, punctuality is the politeness of kings and the duty of gentle people everywhere. So punctuality is the politeness of kings and the duty of gentle people everywhere. Punctual, just be on time. You're supposed to be somewhere at 7, be there at 7. But I go a little bit extra. I don't like being late. So if my meeting starts at 6:30, I'm there at 6:15, and I've had time to breathe, time to decompress from the drive or whatever it is. I try to be early. Sometimes Sharon says I get there too early if we're going to a dinner, somebody's house at dinner, and they're saying be there at 6. Well, I like to be there at 5:30, but they may not be ready for me at 5:30, so we have to sometimes sit close by to get there. But anyway, and I don't know, it's not from when I was in the Navy, we used to have muster at a certain time. You say muster was at 7. And I would see guys coming up, 1 minute to 7, 30 seconds to 7, trying to get their uniforms all straight and tidy. I've already been there 10 minutes because my saying was, if you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you're in trouble. So for me, it was, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you're in trouble. So that's how I've always been. So I'll be there a little early. Anyway, today, one of Sharon's friends, she volunteers a group every Tuesday, and they were talking about bees, and they know she has bees in the backyard. And they just wanted a simple, like 20, 30-second video of the beehives. They wanted to see what they look like. So I figured, I've been doing this a while. I have new people that watch my channel that found me somehow. I want to welcome you all. Thank you very much. This round of applause is for you guys and the people who come back time and time again just to see what I'm up to. It's amazing to me, all the people that find what I do, where I do it, very interesting, and they follow and look along. Anyway, yeah, so I'm just gonna do a quick walk around and show you my setup. Like I said, backyard, regular neighborhood. I have no HOA that I have to deal with, but I do have county rules and things like that. So without any further ado, let's go back here and see what I got. I'm going to show you a little tour of the apiary, just to show you what I have and what I'm working with here on my regular 1/4 of an acre lot. Okay, up here, this box with the blue dial, that's the entrance, but that's a swarm trap. That's where, as if your bees swarm or there's a wild swarm in the trees, you can bait that with like lemongrass oil or some other attractant, and hopefully the bees will move in there instead of going in somebody's attic or wall of their house. And you can get yourself some free bees, technically. I caught one swarm here this year, which is in this front hive, red hive. Anyway, so let me tell you my apiary. Right here is my water source. Bees should have a fresh water source. Even though I have a creek less than a mile away that's always running, it never runs dry. I provide water here every day, all day. The bees, I'll explain that later. So that's on this barrel. The furthest hive over there is, I call a copper top nuke. It's a 5-frame nuke, and the bottom is my XL frames, which I make custom because I'm a little extra, but they're a deep and a medium frame combined into one frame. And that's my brood chamber. It'll never get used for honey, only for the queen to lay eggs and for them to put pollen and whatever honey they put on those frames, strictly for the bees. On top of that, there's a deep box with 5 frames. That would be where I would get honey from if I choose to take honey off of that hive. Next to it, the red, is 2 boxes of deep combs. And that was the swarm that I caught. And I've been using that as a resource. I've been taking frames to move around, and they're slowly building back up. So there's not many bees flying around, but they're there. They're deep frames, Langstroth. And then behind in the yellow is also two double deep Langstroth. The red hive is my farmhouse back there. That has the brood chamber is my XL frames. And there's right now currently 8 XL frames in it. And then the rest are deep frames that I use for honey production. And that was just a fun hive to have. I just manage it as a fun hive, not as honey production. Actually, none of these were set up for honey production, just set up to have bees. So that was the yellow, the hive, and then now the blue. The blue back there is 2 deeps, but it's a licensed 6-frame nucleus. So there's 6 frames on the bottom, deeps, and 6 frames on the top that are deeps. I got that to try to get the bees to help draw out comb, because honeycomb is one of the staples. It helps your production immensely. So with good honeycomb and being able to put in comb into a hive that's ready to produce, it saved them time and resources. It saves. So I use that to build up my honeycomb. Now let me show you the difference in the frames. Okay, when I say I have XL frames, that's these. I make them myself. There's a couple of people that use them. Philip from RTX Honeybees, he uses them, and I think Vino Farms uses them. I think the Bug Farmer is getting away from them, but they would put them in their bee barns. But this is a deep and a medium, basically, on the same frame. Now there's no extractor that you could put this in to extract the honey. So I just use them straight for the brood. In contrast, this is a deep frame Langstroth. And if I hold them side by side, you can see the difference, the contrasted difference in size. And then the other frames that people use on general is a medium. And here we'll put a medium. If I can hold them all without dropping them. So now you can see the differences in the 3 different sizes. There's also a shallow frame that some people use to make cut comb. It's a little bit smaller than this first frame here. So that's the contrast. That's the visual of all 3 sizes. Now, most people only use these 2 sizes. I'm just extra, so there you go. All right, let me show you my water. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about my water station. All it is a rock that I had from somewhere, and this black hose coming down is from attached to this silver garden hose that goes to a timer. And the timer comes on at 7 o'clock every morning, goes off at 7 p.m. I found some moss around the house that I stuck up here, and as such, the moss is growing grasses. And so it's a little ecosystem here. But the water comes down the rock and just keeps everything moist. And the bees know where it's at. They come here every day. There's a little bit of, well, see, that's not even a bee, but it's coming to get water, and that's what it is. But anyway, so it comes down here. The bees still like it. It's still moss and wet. And yeah, so I found a couple of snails around here. So yeah, that's my water station. And I just got a cheap Amazon timer attached to the other end of this water, this silver hose. And it just drips water every day, all day. And it's a little, you can't even see the drips, but that's the end of the hose. But you can see the bees coming, and they just collect the water, and they go right there to the house. Okay. Okay, like I said before, this one is XL, 5XL frames with 5 deeps. It's a resource. The only other hive that uses XL frames is the farmhouse back there. This one is double deeps, So it's 10 on the bottom and 10 on the two brown boxes have 10 frames each. The red box is just a feeder shim. It's insulated. It's got a feed bucket inside. And that's the front row. Let's go to the other ones. Okay, and these are the other three hives. We have the yellow, which is also double deeps. We have the blue double deeps, but it's 6 frames on the bottom, 6 on top. This is 10 and 10. And then the farmhouse back there is 8 of the XL frames for the brood chamber. And then the rest, there's probably like 10 deep frames for honey. And a various kinds of deep frames. So yeah, there you go. Okay, that's the backyard setup. Got my chair for sitting watching the bees when I feel like I just need to contemplate some stuff. But yeah, so I just sit there, watch the bees, see what's going on, see if anybody's acting up, doing anything weird. But that's our small backyard hive, apiary. There's mosquitoes out here. Yeah, so you don't need, acreage and acreage of space to do it. The honey that our bees produce is all wildflower honey because we have no way of knowing what flowers the bees are going to. We don't have monoculture here. Like I'm not in an area where there's farmers producing one thing like cotton, acres and acres and acres of cotton. If I was next door to that, then I could probably say, yeah, these bees are on cotton right now and they're pulling in cotton nectar. But, or whatever the source, it could be, who knows what. But anyway, so for us, the bees just go out and about in town. They'll fly, 6 kilometers to find food. And tulip poplar trees, whatever, clovers in your yard, dandelions, whatever they do, whatever they find, that's what they bring back, and that's the honey that we get. So yeah, all right, well, that's it for now. Just thought I'd do this quick thing since one of Sharon's friends wanted to see what the hives look like. So I'm gonna send her a quick 45-second video so she could check it out. And then she needs to come here in person and get in the bees. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna close this one out. And again, thank you all for the people who subscribe, watch. I don't care if you watch on TV and you're not subscribing. That's fine. Just watch, enjoy, share it with your friends, families, and hey, you might become a beekeeper later. And you never know. All right. Y'all have fun with your bees, because I do.